A soft drizzle coated the city streets as Amara adjusted her worn-out shawl, nervously clutching the little purse she'd saved up for months to buy. Tonight was a gamble, a chance to rewrite her story, even if just a little. Poverty was a relentless shadow that clung to her since childhood, a weight of invisible scars that had made her retreat inside herself, believing she was destined for loneliness. Her blind date was arranged through a mutual friend, a single dad named Samir, a man she knew nothing about except that he carried the burden of loss in his eyes. As Amara waited under the dim glow of the cafe's lantern, memories of her own shattered dreams surfaced. Her parents' absence, the hunger she endured, and the endless nights wondering if happiness was a luxury meant for others, not someone like her. When Samir arrived, the world seemed to pause for a moment. His tired eyes reflected his own pain. A man who had once been whole but was now fractured by life's cruel twists. Their conversation began awkwardly, but beneath the polite exchanges, there was a shared understanding of suffering and hope. Amara dared to ask, trembling, "Do you think I still deserve happiness?" The question hung in the air like a fragile glass waiting to shatter. Samir looked at her not with pity but with a warmth that surprised her. He shared his own story, how he had lost his wife and struggled to raise his daughter alone, how guilt and grief had once consumed him, but slowly hope had become a lifeline. As the rain continued outside, two broken souls began to weave a tapestry of connection, a silent promise that maybe, just maybe, happiness wasn't a privilege for the few, but a right for the broken. Days turned into weeks, and Amara and Samir found themselves drawn closer, their meetings becoming an escape from the harsh realities they each faced. Amara learned to smile again, not because her problems disappeared, but because someone believed in her, not despite her past, but because of the strength she had shown. Samir saw in Amara the courage to face the world anew, and through her eyes, he rediscovered joy that had been buried under years of sorrow. Together they navigated the delicate dance of healing, learning that happiness was not an end point but a journey they could walk side by side. Amara's question remained a quiet anthem in her heart. Did she deserve happiness? With every step forward, the answer grew louder. Yes, she did, and so did Samir. Their story became a beacon for others, a reminder that no matter how heavy the past, the future holds a promise of light, if only we dare to reach for it. The days grew longer, the seasons shifted, and with each passing moment, Amara and Samir's bond deepened into something neither of them had dared to hope for. But the journey toward healing was not a straight path. It was full of twists, doubts, and moments when the past threatened to pull them under once more. One afternoon, Samir invited Amara and his daughter Aisha to a quiet park near the river. The sun filtered through golden leaves, painting everything in hues of warmth and peace. For the first time in a long time, Amara felt like she belonged, not as a visitor in someone else's life, but as a part of a new family forming slowly but surely. Aisha, shy at first, began to open up, sharing stories from school and her dreams of becoming an artist. Amara watched the child with a soft smile, feeling a protective tenderness she hadn't known she could hold. Samir glanced at her, his eyes full of unspoken gratitude for the light she was bringing back into their lives. Yet beneath the joy, Amara still carried the weight of her fears. One evening, as she sat by the window of her modest room, she pulled out a worn photograph, a reminder of the family she'd lost, the mistakes she'd made, and the nights when she had questioned her worth. Her phone buzzed. It was a message from Samir. "You are stronger than you know. Don't let the shadows steal your light." That simple message was a balm to her weary soul. Slowly, she realized that happiness wasn't about erasing the past, but about learning to live alongside it, to choose joy, even when the memories threatened to overwhelm. One night, Samir took Amara's hands in his. "We don't have to be perfect," he said gently. "We just have to be willing to heal together." Tears welled in Amara's eyes. For the first time, she allowed herself to believe in a future, one where happiness was not a distant dream but a daily choice, shared between two hearts willing to try again. As they embraced, the night seemed to hold its breath, the city quiet except for the soft murmur of hope rising between them. The winter chill had started creeping into the air, but inside the small apartment Samir shared with his daughter and Amara, warmth blossomed. It wasn't just from the heater humming softly in the corner or the thick blankets on the couch. It was the fragile, beautiful warmth of hope, carefully nurtured through shared moments of vulnerability. Amara woke up early one morning, the pale light of dawn filtering through the thin curtains. She sat by the window watching as the city slowly came alive, the muffled sounds of life stirring outside. Her thoughts drifted back to the day she had first met Samir, the weight of uncertainty, the quiet desperation behind her question, "Do you think I still deserve happiness?" Now, as she traced the frost patterns on the glass with her fingertips, she understood the answer was not just about deserving. It was about claiming what was rightfully hers, a chance to live, to love, and to be whole again. Later that day, Samir surprised Amara with a small bouquet of wildflowers. "For you," he said softly, "because even in the toughest places, beauty finds a way to grow." Touched, Amara smiled, feeling the old walls around her heart crumble just a bit more. They sat down to share tea, and for a
moment, silence wrapped around them like a gentle blanket. Then Amara spoke, her voice steady but filled with emotion. "Samir, I used to think my past would always hold me back, that the mistakes, the poverty, the loneliness, they defined me. But with you, I'm learning something new. That happiness isn't a prize for the perfect. It's a gift for those brave enough to fight for it." Samir reached across the table, squeezing her hand. "You've already fought so hard, Amara, and I promise, I'll be here to fight with you, not just for happiness, but for peace, for laughter, and for all the little moments that make life worth living." Outside, the city hummed with its usual rhythm, unaware of the quiet miracle unfolding inside that small apartment, a testament to resilience, to second chances, and to the undeniable truth that no matter how deep the darkness, light is never too far away. Days later, Amara found herself volunteering at a local shelter, giving back to others who carried their own burdens. Each smile she shared, each story she heard, strengthened her belief that happiness grows when shared. And Samir, watching her from across the room, knew that this was only the beginning. Together, they were not just survivors of their pasts. They were architects of a future built on hope. Months had passed since that first tentative meeting between Amara and Samir. The seasons had changed, but the bond between them only grew stronger, forged through shared trials, quiet understanding, and the courageous choice to hope again. One evening, as the golden hues of sunset painted the sky, Samir invited Amara and Aisha to their favorite cafe, the one where they had first met. The air was crisp, and the scent of fresh coffee mingled with the distant laughter of children playing in the street. As they settled into their usual corner, Aisha excitedly showed Amara a drawing she'd made, a family holding hands beneath a bright sun. Amara's heart swelled with a joy she hadn't known she could feel. This was family, imperfect but real. Samir looked at Amara, his eyes shining. "You know, I used to think I was broken beyond repair. Losing my wife left a hole I didn't think could ever be filled. But meeting you, watching you fight your own battles, you've helped me heal in ways I never expected." Amara smiled softly, feeling tears prick her eyes. "I felt broken too, like happiness was something I was never meant to have. But you showed me that healing doesn't mean forgetting the past. It means choosing to live despite it." They sat quietly for a moment, the weight of their shared pain and hope filling the space between them. Then Amara reached into her purse and pulled out a small, wrapped package. "I wanted to give you this," she said, handing it to Samir. Curious, he untied the ribbon to reveal a simple photo album. Inside were pictures of their time together, candid shots, little memories, and handwritten notes from Aisha. "It's our
story," Amara said. "A reminder that even when life tries to keep us down, we can rise together." Samir's voice caught as he looked through the pages. "Thank you, Amara, for believing in us." Outside, the world moved on. But inside that cozy cafe, two souls stood at the crossroads of past pain and future promise. Amara's question from so long ago echoed softly in her mind. Do I still deserve happiness? And now the answer was clear. She not only deserved it, she had earned it. By choosing to love, to heal, and to embrace tomorrow, the days following their quiet celebration at the cafe were filled with a new kind of peace. Amara, Samir, and Aisha were no longer just trying to survive. They were beginning to live fully, with hope, laughter, and the courage to dream again. But healing is never linear. One chilly afternoon, as Amara walked home from work, She bumped into an old acquaintance from her past, a reminder of the struggles she had fought so hard to leave behind. The encounter stirred old fears and insecurities, threatening to unravel the fragile confidence she'd built. That evening, Amara sat by the window, the city lights sparkling below, feeling vulnerable for the first time in months. Doubts crept back. Was she really worthy of happiness? Could she ever truly escape the shadows of her past? Samir noticed her silence and gently asked, "What's on your mind?" Amara took a deep breath, her voice barely above a whisper. "Sometimes I wonder if I'm fooling myself, if I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop." Samir reached out, holding her hand firmly. "I know the feeling, but you're not alone in this. We carry our scars, yes, but they don't define us. What defines us is how we choose to live despite them." He paused, searching her eyes. "I love you, Amara, not because you're perfect, but because you're brave enough to keep trying." Tears welled in Amara's eyes, but this time they were tears of relief and hope. She leaned into Samir, feeling the weight of loneliness lift. In that moment, she realized that love wasn't about erasing pain. It was about facing it together, hand in hand. The weeks that followed were filled with new beginnings. Amara started taking classes in the evenings, pursuing a dream she'd shelved long ago, and to become a teacher. Samir found strength in watching her grow, and Aisha blossomed in the warmth of their blended family. One night, as they sat together under a blanket of stars, Amara whispered, "I used to think happiness was something I had to earn, or that I didn't deserve it. But now I know it's something we choose, every day and every moment." Samir smiled, kissing her forehead. "And I choose it with you." Their story was no longer just about survival. It was about thriving, about rewriting their destinies with courage, love, and unshakable hope.